Hey, what's up everybody? David from Pro Duo Flippers here. As promised, I'm going to be putting together a video today showing my numbers for the month of October. I'm going to go into kind of detail with this one, showing not just my sales numbers, not just my gross sales numbers, but also all my expenses for the month, all my cash going out for the month, as well as my sales, so that you can kind of see a picture of what a normal month looks like, what normal expenses are for someone full-time, and kind of see how much expenses are associated with the sales that you see everybody posting or sharing in different places on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. So I will just kind of break down those numbers for you. So let's just go ahead and get started. I will first talk about the sales numbers that I also shared in my last video, but this will be just for the month of October. So October was a good month. A great month actually, as the first strong month of fourth quarter. So I expect to have good numbers in October, and really excited to see what that will be for next year. Once Melissa and I have been doing this for a full year and have upped our listings, so hopefully they'll be significantly higher next year, and that'll be exciting for us. But all right, so for eBay, which is by far our main focus for income. The month total was $18,536. So that was the gross sales. That include all these gross sales are going to also include shipping. So eBay was $18,536, and that was resulted from 513 sales for the month of October. So great number of sales, great dollar amount as well. Pretty excited about that. And then we had Amazon. Amazon, not very much. As I've mentioned many times before, I put hardly any work into Amazon. This was actually a good month for me, just because I had a couple things that sold fairly well that I had listed on there. One had been listed, and one I kind of found multiple copies of this book that was sold. So anyway, but still Amazon was only $378, and that was for a total of 14 sales. So not super impressive there. Poshmark was pretty decent. We haven't been putting much work in there. I'm not sure if in October we listed any new listings. If we did, it was only a few. I feel like we're probably not going to stick with Poshmark, and that'll probably be one of my upcoming videos too. So for Poshmark, 1,054 was the total, and that was for 25 sales. And then local, which pretty much just means Facebook Marketplace, especially for this month. I didn't do anything extra like I did in November. I did a ski swap or whatever. But so for October, all Facebook Marketplace, I had 20 sales for a total of $764. And that's just mostly like, I think I sold some hunting clothing. I sold some a snowboard or two, or a pair of skis. I sold a couple bike trainers for people exercising their road bikes inside during the winter. I sold a couple bike racks. That's the kind of stuff I sell locally. I don't sell a ton locally, but I do pick up stuff that I find that makes sense to sell easily on Facebook or whatever. So as a recap, eBay, $18,536. Amazon was $378. Poshmark was $1,054, and local was $764. And so that brought the total to $20,702 in gross sales income for the month of October. So that's it. Like I said, that's gross sales. That includes shipping. And the reason I do that is because that's pretty much how my accounting goes. So everything that's coming in is my income, and then everything going out is my expenses. So that's why I include the shipping charges that I charge and then receive money for as part of my income, because that's basically what it is. It really is the same thing as selling something for $80 plus $20 shipping is really the same as selling it for $100 shipping. So I just include it all as income. And so it's not like I'm trying to inflate my numbers or anything. That's just how I do my accounting. So $20,702 total income for the month. Now for expenses, this is something I've done one video I think before where I mentioned my expenses, and so but I don't do it all the time. I will occasionally do it so people can kind of see. And these are normal expenses for the month. I would say the biggest one that could fluctuate here is my inventory purchases. So I would say this month was I would say on the year it was probably about an average month, but I've definitely had higher months that I've spent more on inventory, and I have also had lower months. I think I spent less in November, but anyway, this is kind of an average month numbers. So I'm going to kind of go through and tell you all my expenses for the month. So right at the top, I'll just start talking about inventory. So for the month of October, I spent $2,911 on inventory. So quite a bit, but that's how it works when you sell a lot. So I generally throughout the year, I buy more than I actually list. So I have this big house now, and my inventory is kind of still going up. So I would say my unlisted inventory is probably a little bit higher than when I first moved in here, which is not a good thing. I want that unlisted inventory to go down. So that's what we'll be working on throughout 2021, is kind of getting or reducing, I should say, that unlisted inventory. But anyway, I spent $2,900 basically. About $600 of that was at the local auction house at a couple auctions, and then the remaining of that was all at thrift stores. So I spent about $2,300 or so in the month of October at thrift stores here in town. So that's inventory, 2,911. And then I'm going to talk about returns real quick, because they're part of every month I have returns, and so I wanted to do October because I have a 30-day return policy. So it's now the first week of December. Won't be getting any more returns from October. So I had 15 returns for October for a total of $667. So that's kind of high, but that's how it is when you sell a lot. So that comes to 2.9%. So I sold 513 items, and I had 15 of those items returned. So that's 2.9%, which is about right. 3% is right about where my normal return rate is. And they're usually it's a little bit higher in fourth quarter and a little bit lower the rest of the year. So I think November is actually going to be a little bit higher than that. So I've had quite a few returns for November. So maybe it'll be 3.5%, 4% for November. I don't know. I'll have to see where we're at at the end of December. So return is $667. Shipping is it's the biggest expense that I have as a reseller, and probably most of you do too. I spend more on shipping than I even do on inventory. So and this is for all three platforms. Obviously, most of it is eBay, and then a little bit of Poshmark, a little bit of Amazon. So the total I spent on shipping in October was $4,084. So that's pretty high. That's probably about 20% of my sales, right? So, and then the next thing I will come down to is fees. And so I've lumped all these fees together for all three platforms, and the total I spent on fees, and this is including all listing fees, the subscription fee I have for my eBay store, which is $60 a month, as well as all my final value fees on eBay and selling fees on Amazon and Poshmark. Obviously, most of this is eBay because that's where I do all of my business pretty much. So the total was $2,972. I want to take a second to talk about how much the fees are for each platform. It's just so you can see. This is just for me. It could be different for you. It won't be different for you on Poshmark because everybody just pays a straight flat 20%, right? So I'll just start with that. Poshmark, the fees that I paid for October were 20% of my sales. Period. That's one nice thing about Poshmark, is that there's no mystery in how much your fees are going to be. So eBay, once I counted all the fees, and I'm talking, like I said, my listing fees, my $60 monthly subscription, I count that as a fee, and then all my final value fees. I don't do promoted listings or anything like that, so I don't have any of those fees. But eBay fees come down to 14.5%. So as you know, the final value fees are about 12.5%, I think. I think if you really want to get technical about it, I think it's like 12.35% plus 30 cents per transaction. And that's on managed payments. It might be slightly different if you're on PayPal, because in your PayPal is like 2.9% plus 30 cents. And then eBay was about 10% before that. But now for most categories, I just used 12.35% plus 30% or plus 30 cents for every transaction. That's kind of what I figure you're paying. And so it's a little bit higher than that at 14.5% because I paid the $60 subscription fee. And then I have a premium store, which gives me 1,000 listings, but we are at about 1,500, maintaining 1,500 listings. And also we're about, I don't know, plus however many we're selling. So we list more than our 1,000 free, and that's costing us about another $60 a month. So at some point we may decide if we want to open a second store somehow, maybe in Melissa's name or something, so that we can not be paying so much in fees for listing. But anyway, so the total for fees, and then Amazon, I forgot Amazon. So Amazon, I didn't sell very much, and the fees come to 30.4%. And this is one of the many things I don't like about Amazon is their fees are really quite high. Now, I'll say a couple things. For people who do a lot on Amazon, their fees are probably lower. So I don't have a store subscription on Amazon, so I pay an extra, I think, $1 for every time something sells. They charge me $1 because I don't pay the $40 a month store fee or whatever it is. So because I don't sell enough on there, it's not justified. I don't sell 40 things in a month. Like this month, I only sold 14 things. So having that dollar fee only cost me $14, whereas a store would have cost me 40. So anyway, it's 30%, but it would have been significantly lower, I guess, if I wouldn't have had that dollar fee on everything. So, and it depends on what category you sell on, how much your fee is going to be. So I tend to sell a lot of books, and books I think are one of the higher percentage fees that Amazon takes, but I'm not really sure. I know that when I sell something else occasionally, the fee is quite a bit lower. But so total for fees, $2,972. And then the only thing that really leaves is anything I would have purchased for my business during the month of October. So this could vary some too, depending on this month I bought, or maybe it was the end of November, I don't know, I bought the laptop. So, that'll be an expense that I'm going to deduct off my business. But for October, I didn't spend that much. I only spent $56 on supplies. So I think I bought a couple sizes of poly mailers. I used my quarterly coupon to buy some boxes, and they only ended up costing me $2 after the $50 coupon. So it didn't spend very much. I think there was a few other really small things. But that being said, the supplies could be quite a bit higher. I had already loaded up for all my packaging supplies for fourth quarter before October. So that's one of the reasons I didn't spend very much in October. So anyway, to recap, the inventory I spent was $2,911. Returns was $667. Shipping was $4,084. Fees were $2,972, and supplies was $56. So that makes a grand total for my expenses of $10,690. So if you take my income for the month at $20,702, and you subtract my fees at $10,690, that leaves me with a net income of $10,012. So if you've watched my videos in the past, you see that I always say that my net is about half of my profit, and that's what you're seeing here. I went from $20,702 to $10,012. That's a little bit more than half. That brings my net is 48.4% of my gross sales. So pretty much half. And that's about where it usually is. And that's probably about where it will be for the year. It'll actually probably be slightly lower than that because at the end of the year, I also will deduct my mileage that I keep track of on an app. And also I will deduct my home office expense, which I don't really know how I'm going to do this year because we have this big house now. We're using a much larger portion of our house compared to our last house. So there's a couple different ways to do your home office expense. One is just by a simple formula where that it's really simple. And then the other one's more complex, which I may end up using this year because I've been using so much more square footage. So I think our basement is like 1,250 square feet or something like that. And our house is like 4,500. So I don't know what the math is on that, but maybe it's like 30% or something. I don't know. Probably fairly close to that. Maybe a little bit less than that. But anyway, so that's it. My numbers in a nutshell for October. Like I said, 20,700 in income and about 10,000 in net income after. So, and about 48% of the sales is net income. So that's it. Hopefully hopefully that explains it pretty well, and kind of helps you see what the expenses are on a normal month for somebody who's doing this on a bigger scale. And if you have any questions, comments, or whatever, just leave them down below. I'll respond to them. Please like, share, subscribe. That really helps me know that you guys want to keep seeing these videos. Follow us on Instagram, Pro Duo Flippers there as well. If you want, so I track all these numbers in my spreadsheet, as like I've showed you in previous videos before. If you need something, this is the best time of the year to buy something like that. If you're looking to get started tracking numbers, so that 2021 you can start it off right with tracking numbers. I will link the spreadsheet below in my description. If you want to purchase it for $9, it's there. The selling guide's there for $9. But hopefully this video was helpful and kind of opens some eyes about all the expenses that you can expect as being a reseller. But that's it. Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you later.